In Court on TKO8 Television is brought to you by Campbell Bonding Company. Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
With Boone County case 2015-223, the State of Arkansas versus Barry Jarrett.
Judge, we had previously been appointed to represent Mr. Jarrett.
Does he have, it's not listed here. Whoops. This is a new case?
It is, Your Honor.
Your Honor, you might inquire if they can hear us or not. We were having trouble with the phone.
I'm going to, as soon as I make sure we've got the right case up and we're going.
We do. It's under the arraignments.
Not on mine.
Oh, you don't have probably the most up-to-date one.
All right. Mr. Jarrett, can you hear the court?
Yes.
And can you see the courtroom here?
Yes.
The public defender and the prosecutor are here, are visible to you?
Right.
Very good. All right. Mr. Jarrett, was it on this case or another case you were appointed? This is the second case.
Judge, we were appointed on at the Rule 8.1 hearing.
Okay. Very good.
He was here on November 6th at that point in time for Rule 8.1.
Mr. Jarrett is here for arraignment on a charge of charges of commercial burglary, Class C felony, breaking or entering, Class D felony, theft of property, Class A misdemeanor, criminal mischief in the first degree, a Class A misdemeanor, charged as an habitual offender.
Your Honor, is this on that first case?
Yeah, this is the first case.
This is the ship and go case.
This is the formal arraignment, Barry. This is the one you had the 8.1 on a couple weeks ago. They have filed the formal charges now. Your Honor, we'll waive formal reading of the charge, enter a plea of not guilty. We'd like to address the issue of bond.
You know he's been rearrested.
I know.
And has new charges.
Well, that's what was confusing me. I thought this was the second, it was before the court today on the second set of charges.
Now, this is the first set of charges.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I'm able to say something.
Well, let's see if we can't get through the formalities first. The plea of not guilty is being entered, has been entered on your behalf.
Judge, this case is on Judge Putman's docket, so I'm going to give Mr. Russo to give to Mr. Hancock the discovery we've compiled thus far.
Okay, I'm going to set this matter for reappearance in front of Judge Putman on December 11th, 2015 to get on the scheduling order for Judge Putman. Now, what other issues are to be taken up?
Judge,
This is the one that I thought we'd reduce bond on to $35,000. Is that correct?
Judge, I am showing the bond set at $35,000, and now that I've had an opportunity to read the information and the charges, based upon my client's longtime residence in the county, he has family in the county. In light of that, Judge, he's not a flight risk, and I believe that a lower bond would be more appropriate in light of what the nature of the charges are.
Mr. Carter?
Judge, based upon the fact that he has been rearrested and charged on additional offenses, although we have not actually formally filed those, they were turned in the last 48 hours. We would ask that the court, with regard to this particular case, leave the bond at $35,000. Yes, he's a long-time resident. He is well known to law enforcement. He's a habitual offender. Let's see. I'm checking to see if we've ever charged a failure to appear. But as you know, going through Mr. Jarrett's criminal history is like reading a little novel.
But no failures to appear, Judge.
I haven't come across one yet.
Your Honor, Mr. Jarrett keeps his appointments at our office. He shows up for court.
Nope, I can't find a failure to appear, Judge. That doesn't mean one doesn't exist. We may not have filed formal charges. But given Mr. Jarrett's criminal history and the court's familiarity with him, a $35,000 bond on this case is more than reasonable.
Well, that is the feeling of the court. The court's the one that reduced this bond from $100,000 down to $35,000, only to be somewhat disappointed to find out that through the review of an affidavit that he's alleged to have committed additional crimes after his release on that lowered bond. So certainly at this point, the court's not going to consider lowering the bond again. I would have thought by now we'd have processed those new allegations. So, but if they're not ready, we'll just leave the bond at $35,000. That's where the court's not certain it shouldn't be raised, but we're at this point. But I'm not lowering it.
Is that on this charge?
Mr. Jarrett, we're only discussing the old charge today in this matter. The new charge has not been filed at this point. So the bond on this particular charge is back at $35,000, and that's where, I mean, it's staying at $35,000. That's a bond apparently you'd already made previously. So that's where the bond will stay.
So what are we looking at? I'm still at $250,000 on these other charges, 35 on this one, or what?
That's my understanding at this time. You may be excused.
Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
I love working as a nurse, and I wouldn't have this job without North Arkansas College. Tuition was truly affordable, the teachers were passionate, and I got the hands-on education that I needed. Practical nurse employers report a 100% satisfaction rate for North Ark graduates, and that was impressive.
North Ark's allied health programs offer degrees in nursing, paramedics, medical lab technology, radiologic technology, surgical tech, and more. Classes begin January 11th. Enroll today at 870-391-3505 because a North Ark education works.
The court will call 2015-82 State of Arkansas versus Diane Marie Hodge. Yes.
Your Honor, recalling the court's attention, an alias had been outstanding, and she was arrested on the alias. She appeared in front of Judge Putman November 13th and was ordered to reappear here on the 20th to get a new scheduling order with the court.
Well, I think what we're going to have to look at is putting this case on the December 7th list. I think because of the circumstances of this case, there is a speedy trial issue that needs to be looked at.
Judge, she was arrested October 8th of 2014, and failure to appear was issued on August 14th, so that would...
We would have to put it on that December 7th trial docket, Judge.
3 months. Okay.
And we, as I said earlier in chambers, we may have to look at the following week as a possible trial date, depending on what other cases have to be tried. Because I think what we're looking at is this case has got to be tried before the end of the month.
Judge, I asked to allow us to have a final hearing and pretrial on December 4th and be ready to go for trial on the 7th.
All right. We're going to set Ms. Hodge for pretrial on December 4th, and we'll set her for trial the week of December 7th. Now, there are a lot of other cases that are already set for trial that week of December 7th. This case actually may not go to trial to the following week, the week of December 14th. But we're going to have to work at putting together a trial schedule of what cases are actually going to trial. So that's the scenario on this. All right. Ms. Hodge, you may be excused. You need to be in touch with your attorney.
Can I ask for a bond? I'm moving out to Gammon House, and I do not want to lose my spot there. And they will make sure that I am in court. I'm here.
We're here.
Judge, she can't make it to court herself and has been a fugitive for a long time. If the court wants to set a bond, the court can set a bond at, say, $250,000.
Well, at this point, Ms. Hodge, our concern is getting you to trial. We're setting your case immediately for trial because of in part because of the fact that you were a fugitive for a period of time, out of touch with the court. A lot of the speedy trial time is run. So at this time,
Well, it's not like I was trying to run from the court, though, neither, because I did turn myself in.
Well,
Judge, I would merely point out Ms. Hodge has 2 prior felonies, so she's not unfamiliar with the system. Further, the state at this point has not yet charged her with failure to appear. I've given Mr. Russo a possible resolution to this case.
We had it scheduled for September.
And the alias was outstanding, Judge?
And she failed to appear in August. And custody wasn't acquired of her until November 4th. Ms. Hodge, did you have an explanation for your non-appearance in August?
Forrest, and I did not have a way to report, and I did call the public defender's office, and I didn't get a hold of them until like 1 o'clock that day, and they said that a warrant had already been issued, and if I couldn't make it there by 1:30, then the warrant would go ahead into effect.
And that was in August?
Yes.
And you say you turned yourself in, but that wasn't until November?
Yeah.
This court considers Ms. Hodge a flight risk. I'll set bond at $50,000, and you're advised that your case is set for appearance on, if you make that bond, you'll need to be in court on December 4th for a pretrial hearing, and this matter is currently set for December 7th. As I've said, the docket is extremely congested that week, and it's your responsibility to not only be in court but also stay in touch with your attorney, so that when we work out a specific schedule, you can be informed immediately of when your trial's actually going to take place. But it's your responsibility to stay in touch with the public defender's office, not them to track you down. All right? And I'm setting bond kind of against my better judgment in this matter at the level I have, but I do consider you would be a flight risk. And you need to understand that if you fail to appear at any of those dates, there will be a warrant issued for you. That will be the order of the court. You may be excused. 2015-144 and 2015-218, State of Arkansas versus Craig Hendrickson. Mr. Russo, could I have that list back that I gave you earlier?
Yes, sir.
I guess that is the only one I have. I'll make you a copy of it. All right. What I thought this one is. This one was one that we had set on the December 7th trial date originally.
Judge, this one, I don't see it.
But because of the alias warrant that was subsequently issued, I guess it's been moved off that December 7th date.
And Judge, on this case, in light of the new charge, he was just arraigned on that as well. We're going to need a new scheduling order on both cases, Judge, and I'd ask the court to let those track. We don't have any speedy trial implications until April of next year. So I'd ask the court to give us a new scheduling order after the first of the year in connection with the case. Our case is.
Let's see.
And Judge, I have, if the court be inclined, I have this scheduling order from another case. If the court be inclined to use that scheduling order on these two cases.
Have you've checked the speedy trial?
Yeah,
Mr. Carter, are you aware of this?
the date, Judge, on the one, and there was an alias issue, but the date is April 23rd.
It's cutting it awful close.
We have, I believe we're going to have a disposition.
18.
I was looking at the information, Judge, and the
Well, what I in case 2015-218, case in which Mr. Hendrickson was arraigned on November 13th. His original arrest date, though, was apparently July 14th.
that's correct, Judge.
His arrest date was July 14th of this year. His arraignment took place on November 13th, and that was in front of Judge Putman. He was ordered to appear today to get on the court's scheduling order. What this court is going to do is set this on, I can find it. I'm setting it for, yes, I'm setting it for the 18th of April of 2016 for trial, the week of April 18th. I'm saying it for pretrial on March 4th, and I'm saying it for a reappearance on February 5th. What I'm hesitant about is setting the other one on that same scheduling order, just because we're cutting it awful close if something goes awry. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it for set the case 2015-144. I'm going to set it down for trial the week of January 19th, which is, again, is another one of those weeks where we have a lot of cases set for trial already. And I'll set it for January 8th for pretrial. I don't know any reason we need a hearing before January 8th in that, do we?
Judge, if the court has one available, I just received an offer this morning from the state that I need to communicate to my client. If you want to put him on a reappearance on...
Put him on a reappearance on December 4th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So Mr. Hendrickson is ordered in case 2015-144 to reappear on December 4th with a pretrial on January 8th and a trial date set for the week of January 19th of 2016. In case 2015-218, he's scheduled to reappear on February 5th with a pretrial on March 4th and a trial set during the week of April 18th. Mr. Hendrickson, you may be excused.
Can we talk about bond?
All right.
And I told him to move you all out with him. He on house arrest in my parents' house with an ankle monitor until all the court proceedings were done. And he said he was talking to the prosecutor's office about it. He said I wasn't trying to him.
Mr. Carter?
Judge, Sheriff hasn't talked to me, and I don't feel comfortable with that at all, given the nature of the charges and what we know about Mr. Hendrickson.
Even with the ankle monitor?
We've already had one failure to appear in this case, and ankle monitors can be removed.
Was the original bond amount $25,000 or was it reduced? I don't remember.
It's $25,000.
Sheriff has been summoned on a call, so there's no way I can talk to him.
He's not available. I understand.
Looks like it's been basically low around.
Well, given the fact there's been a failure to appear in the past, the court considers him a flight risk. I'll set bond at $35,000 to cover both cases. All right. All right. You may be excused, sir.
We moved here in June, 18 years ago, and had not been in the house more than a week, and I popped my hip out of joint. And that was my first experience. And of course, the ER saved my life. I had an aortic aneurysm, and it had leaked all night. And as soon as they brought me in here, they knew exactly what it was and exactly what to do.
Shiny Shelby stickers are sure to be seen under any lighted Christmas tree adorned with red and green. This holiday season, let Shelby's help you add some shine to your Christmas. Our latest collection of old world ornaments are sure to please any collector. Fill your kitchen with the aroma of aspen mulling spices as you whip up one of our easy appetizers or snacks. Don't forget the kids. We have plenty of shiny, new boy or girl elf on the shelf just waiting to be adopted. Shop local at Shelby's this Christmas. We are sure to put the shine on your gift giving.
On the revocation docket, we have Brittany Sue Brasher. This is Boone County case 2009-106. First appearance on a petition to revoke. Court's making the appointment of the Public Defender's Office, though I think this case is on my docket. Is there a reason that Mr. Hampton's name?
Judge, I think it was just because her initial appearance was in front of Judge.
Oh. All right.
It should be myself, Judge.
Right. All right. Well, this is a first appearance on a petition to revoke that was actually filed back in October of 2010. The allegations contained in the petition were that the defendant had, the probationer had violated the provisions of drug court, that used illegal substances and tested positive for controlled substances, failed to report for group counseling, failed or refused to participate in AA and NA as required by both probation and the drug court program, and was behind in payments due, both of fines, fees, and court costs, as well as supervision fees, and in the end had absconded. She has been, as they say, allegedly has been in the wind for more than 5 years, according to what's contained in the petition. Court is appointing the Public Defender's Office on the allegations contained in the petition. How does the defendant now plead?
Not true, Your Honor.
plea of not true is noted on the record. I'm going to set this down for hearing on the 4th of December. This is likely to be a busy day. All right. Are there any further issues?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You may be excused, ma'am. 2010-237, State of Arkansas versus Jason Sirota.
Your Honor, he has previously applied, and our office has been appointed. He appeared in front of Judge Putman on October 30th and was set over today.
Now, let's see. Entered a plea of not true on October 30th, as stated. Back at the petition.
Jason, when do you go to court in Hot Springs?
On the 1st of December.
Are you going to have your case resolved down there then?
Yes, sir. I hope so.
And I'm sorry, what was that date again, Jason?
The 1st of December.
Judge, can we bring him back on the 4th?
Let me see where we are with this.
You don't show when he was picked up, do you? We should. December 4th would still put us.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We're within the 60 days, right?
Christmas will be the 60th day.
Ho, ho, ho.
Okay, this is a petition that was filed September 28, 2015. So we're within the 60 days of this having been issued. I haven't as yet come across when I actually was served with the warrant.
Judge, based upon the information I was just handed, he was served with a warrant October 25th.
Okay, so we're well within. Yes, the court will set this matter down for reappearance on December 4th.
And Judge, just so the jail's clear, I want to make sure, depending on what happens in his Hot Springs case, ultimately I think is going to dictate what happens here. I'd like the jail to be aware, and with the court's permission, that he can return to Hot Springs to be able to resolve his case down there so we can wrap stuff up. If he's supposed to be there on the 1st, he could go down there, wrap that up, and then be back here on the 4th to potentially resolve everything.
Down in Garland County, he's charged with a Class C felony.
So is he going down there to resolve the pending case, or does he have a revocation down there as well?
No, it's a new case, and he's going down there to resolve the new case, and that's going to dictate what happens in ours.
Okay. Well, court's going to expect him to be in court on December 4th. If not, a warrant will issue, but I'd like to see this matter resolved.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. That'll be the order of the court.
Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
Gifts, gifts, and more gifts. That's what you'll find at Sisters Flower and Gift Shop. Come in and browse our vast assortment of unique Christmas ornaments, wreaths, and wall decor. For the holidays, Sisters has added a new line of candies, cookies, treats, and snacks, all for under $10. Whether you're looking for a bold centerpiece, an artistic floral arrangement, surfing pieces, or all-occasion tabletop items, Sisters has something for everyone. Sisters Flower and Gift Shop. We are so much more than flowers.
2014-39, State of Arkansas versus Joshua Alera.
What in both his cases?
He's aware that the drug court wraps up everything. I haven't been out to see what he's going to do. When is pleading in drug court next?
This case on the docket for revocation purposes was assigned to Judge Putman, but at this point, my understanding is Mr. Alera is up for a possible drug court plea. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. It has been extended. We've had discussions in our staffing meetings, and if the court sets him for 12-4, I think that Mr. Bunch will have an opportunity to go over all the ins and outs with drug court with him from a legal perspective, and we could potentially resolve it that day.
If we could have it reset for the 4th of December, and that'll allow Mr. Alera and I a chance to visit and see what his intentions are.
All right. Very well. I'm setting it down for reappearance on December 4th. All right. You may be excused, sir. The court will call 2015-3, State of Arkansas versus George Upton. This case was set for bench trial in front of the court. I think this is about the third time it's been set down.
Your Honor, it was sent for bench trial. It's my understanding Mr. Upton has several new charges coming. I haven't been able to meet with him at the jail because it's my understanding he's been at Riverdale. So I'm going to have to ask the court to set this over to the 4th now that Mr. Upton's back from Riverdale to give me the opportunity to talk to him and also find out about his new charges. It's my understanding he's got new charges coming out of both Boone and Newton counties.
I'm going to show it continued to December 4th as an excluded period.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Now let's take up Mr. Hager. Mr. Hager's case, there are formal charges filed?
Yes. Have they read you a warrant?
Yes, sir, they did.
Okay.
But there haven't been returned to the court to set up a file at this point.
I was read my charges in April, and my parole officer sent me to ADC. Well, I've been at ADC since April. I should be getting...
What charges are we talking about then, if they were served in April?
I think he had a parole violation hearing, and they told him what he was going to be charged with.
Yes, that's what it was. They said I was a person of interest in this incident, and they said there was vehicle fleeing, felony vehicle fleeing, some misdemeanor traffic violation, and they said they was going to go ahead and send me down.
Well, so you went to Department of Corrections on a parole revocation proceeding. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, What we're talking about here today is we're trying to arraign you on whatever the new charges are. But I don't have anything in front of me to determine what those charges are, because the issue now is, have you, since you've been back, has anybody served you with a warrant based on charges that have been filed?
No, sir, they have not, and I haven't been back yet. They picked me up from Arkansas Farm Corrections yesterday. I should be getting released from ADC late December, early January, mid-January.
Okay. All right. Well, what I can tell you, Mr. Hager, is the prosecuting attorney's office has prepared and filed charges for fleeing in a vehicle, which is a Class D felony, resisting arrest, a Class A misdemeanor, reckless driving, a Class B misdemeanor, leaving the scene of an accident involving property damage, a Class C misdemeanor, and driving with license suspended for DWI, which is an unclassified misdemeanor. Those are the charges that you will, I hope, later today be formally served with a warrant. That warrant should have been issued some time ago. And we're going to need to move on this. We're going to need to move on this and get the charges served on him, and then set this matter for trial in March. Unfortunately, I don't have a trial date right here that in front of me that I can set that up. But that's what's going to need to happen on this case. But so I'm going to order you to be held to reappear in front of this court on December 4th.
Sir, that's a real bad time for me. That's when I go early December. I really need to be in, because if not, then it just sets me off next month.
Well, I'm very sorry to inconvenience you, sir, but these are charges that I've got to run a court here that involves a lot of people's time too, and I'm not going to inconvenience them more. So let's see if we can't get the matter served on you, and that's the next time I'm holding court, and I want to get this matter set for trial. So I'm going to direct that you'll reappear on December 4th. That's the decision of the court. Mr. Carter, I want to ask you to see to it that this warrant gets served on him, please, so we can get a case set up and moving forward. Because actually all this time, the way I understand the law, all this time has gone from speedy trial from 1st of April at this point. So we're going to have to have this case on the trial docket in March, with pre-trials in January and February. So that's where the matter stands at this point. All right. Mr. Hager, you may be excused.
When you support a locally owned pharmacy, you're contributing to the growth of the community. The dollars you spend stay right here to support our local community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned pharmacies. There's one right here. Health Mart pharmacists have a personal commitment to their communities because, just like you, they support their community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned and hometown proud. Harrison is a Health Mart town. Sam Alexander Pharmacy on the square downtown. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Introducing the newest member of the Yamaha off-road family. It thrives in the most remote, rugged terrain. It never steps down from a challenge and travels long distances in search of adventure. The all-new Yamaha Wolverine. It's a whole new animal.
calls 2015-221, State of Arkansas versus Richard Baker. I'm also calling 2015-214, State of Arkansas versus Richard Baker. And I'm calling 2015-221, State of Arkansas versus Richard Baker. The latter is the one that's for arraignment here today. Has Mr. Baker's applied for the service of the Public Defender's Office?
We have been appointed, Your Honor, but Mr. Baker's advised us that he's hiring private counsel.
Is that the case, Mr. Baker?
Yes, sir.
What arrangements have you made, please?
I haven't made none yet. Next week I'm going to make arrangements with Mr. Johnny Nichols.
Okay. So, and I'm going to note that that you're in the process of hiring Johnny Nichols. Let me see. And that'll be on all of these cases?
Yes, sir.
We'll proceed at this point. In case 2015-221, State of Arkansas versus Richard Baker, charged with breaking or entering Class D felony, theft of property, Class A misdemeanor, criminal mischief in the first degree, Class A misdemeanor, and criminal trespass, a Class C misdemeanor. On those charges, how do you plead at this time, Mr. Baker?
Not guilty.
I'm noting your plea of not guilty. The fact that you're hiring Mr. Nichols, and I'm setting this for a reappearance, this case for reappearance in front of Judge Putman on December 11th. So you'll need to, a week from today, you'll need to be in front of him. See if you can't get that hiring done by that time. Okay? Now,
Judge, excuse me, you said a week from today, and you said December 11th?
I'm sorry, December 11th. I was thinking, yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's in 3 weeks. So you need to be in front of him, have the hiring done, and be in front of Judge Putman on December 11th.
Yes, sir.
Now, on case 2015-214, that case is assigned to the Division 4 docket. And you were ordered, you appeared in front of Judge Putman on, or I guess it was in front of me on November 6th. And I set this matter back down for you to be here today in order to check attorney status. And so I note that Mr. Bunch has been appointed since that time. At this time, I will relieve Mr. Bunch of representation and direct that you get your attorney hired.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, here's the problem on that, is that if I'm relieving Mr. Bunch. Now, if you discover in talking to Mr. Nichols that you can't afford to hire him, and you're going to need to reapply to the Public Defender's Office, and when you next appear in front of me, or actually when you appear in front of Judge Putman, you need to have an attorney in place or an application for the Public Defender Services back in place, so that an attorney can, all these cases can move forward with an attorney involved, because that slows the whole process down if you don't have an attorney. And with this many charges and this series of charges, you need to have that attorney in place.
Yes, sir.
I am going to, we have already entered a scheduling order in your case 2015-214. This is the case you're charged with breaking or entering, theft of property, criminal mischief, theft of property, resisting arrest, and fleeing on foot. Okay? On all those charges, this case is already set for April, for a trial in April with a pretrial in March and a reappearance date on February 5th. Okay? So I'm telling you right now that your next appearance date on this case, that is 2015-214, is February 5th. But if you do not hire Mr. Nichols, it's your obligation to get an attorney in place, either hire somebody else or to go back to the public defender's office, so that by December 11th, the court's going to check and make sure that you have an attorney in place. All right? Because I don't want to wait till February to find out you haven't had an attorney working on your case.
I understand.
All right. So your next reappearance on 2015-214 is on February 5th. It'll be in front of this judge. So that's two of the cases. The other case that we have is 2015-161. Let me see. That case is also assigned to Judge Putman. I'm trying to see. Judge Putman has that case by a scheduling order set for December 14th. Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
You say yes, sir, or no, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, I am not relieving the public defender's office on that case until you actually have, because it's set for trial now, this close to it. I'm not relieving the public defender's office. Mr. Hancock needs to continue representing you until you actually secure representation of an attorney. Otherwise, if you don't secure an attorney, you need to understand you're going to trial on December 14th in front of Judge Putman, and Mr. Hancock needs to continue to be your attorney of record.
Yes, sir.
Right? So that addresses all three cases that you have on the circuit court docket. Yes, and it's your responsibility now to get the attorney and get the attorney in place. They don't just magically appear on your doorstep.
No, I understand.
And so you need to take that action and get it done, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. You may be excused at this time.
In Court on TKO8 Television is brought to you by Campbell Bonding Company. Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
When you support a locally owned pharmacy, you're contributing to the growth of the community. The dollars you spend stay right here to support our local community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned pharmacies. There's one right here. Health Mart pharmacists have a personal commitment to their communities because, just like you, they support their community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned and hometown proud. Harrison is